The following is a Sunny 99.5 WSTX station editorial.
This is Holland Redfield one more time for the Diageo deal. When one looks at the Diageo rum transaction on balance, the outcome or conclusion that took place in the legislature was a given. As a result of this approval, there are political cross-currents that have far-reaching implications that will directly impact the upcoming senatorial races as well as a gubernatorial race in 2010. There is no question those that supported it or those that were against it have a lot of soul-searching to do as well as explanation to the electorate. This is not and was not an easy deal. Our political leaders on both sides of the issue should be commended for their high level of debate within a very short time frame. Those who are in the Senate were dealing with a territory that was posing very real questions on both sides of this difficult issue. The transaction itself was complicated enough, but when you throw into this callaloo the typical St. Croix, St. Thomas paranoia, along with the very real political dynamic between the majority and minority, as well as the very real institutional tension between the legislative and executive branches of government, here lies the mixed messages driven by political agendas rising to the surface. If there was one thing that was demonstrated, it is how difficult it is to develop a consensus in the Virgin Islands. And as we've seen, developing a consensus here on St. Croix is more than a challenge. It is almost impossible. All one has to do is to contrast the 2,200 pre-Yugo hotel rooms and the less than 1,000 rooms that we have today, and you'll get a pretty clear picture what is going wrong. St. Croix is a divided community, socially, economically, and politically. Why is it that we always are at odds with each other? Why is there such a degree of anger and personalization when we're trying to develop sound public policy to move these islands forward? The one thing that we can say, whether you like it or not, is that we are in cutthroat competition with our Caribbean neighbors when it comes to attracting meaningful investments into the territory. As we have said in earlier editorials, the Diageo deal was not a perfect deal. But then in life, what is perfect? If we hadn't seized the moment, it would have slipped through our fingers, and there is no question that Puerto Rico would have picked it up and reaped the benefits of an infusion of over $100 million a year into their treasury, which we would have had if we let it go lost. After all, 100% of nothing is still nothing. If we are not ready to make reasonable compromises, there are other governments that are screaming for economic opportunities and desperately needed resources to assist in the needs of their people. In the case of the Virgin Islands, these are very real needs. A more than $1 billion unfunded liability in the retirement system, millions and millions of dollars of retroactive pay owed to our workers, and desperately needed assistance to WAPA in moving us forward to affordable energy. If we don't want economic development, someone else will.
Sunny 99.5 and WSTX welcome your opinions. Please email your comments to our editorial department. Our email address is editorial@viradio.com. Sunny 99.5 and WSTX reserve the right to air your views. Please include your name and other contact information.